Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a quick little review. I talk too much about this scent, but I just received it, but I've been wearing this for a bit. It is Ambrosia from Royal Crown. If you'd like to know what I think about this fragrance, then keep watching. Now, I just purchased this, so this was not sent to review, but I had worn this a bunch before purchasing. Now, if you see Ambrosia, you might think fruity florals and obviously honey, and yes, this fragrance is it, but it does develop into a very elegant and sophisticated and timeless composition. So don't just buy this because you like honey and gourmands. You have to enjoy mature compositions that focus on, I would say, woody aromatics and also a nice, very decadent, but very pronounced rose iris core. Now the heart of this fragrance obviously is rose and iris. There's also sandalwood and some cedarwood in there. I don't know why I had a hard time saying cedarwood. The top notes of this are what you're going to get in the opening, obviously, but they do last the majority of time in this fragrance, and they are very distinctive fruits. So you have date and plum and pomegranate, which are really beautiful, and this nice warm sweet apple. It's not a crisp tart apple. It's nice and warm and sweet, kind of smells soft. There's a black pepper note in here for just a little bit of a kick, which I really enjoy. Although black pepper kind of is a little bit weird on my skin, it works really well in this fragrance. And there's a nice toffee note in here, which works well with the honey note that makes this very nectarish, very sweet, very decadent, very sexy, very delicious, and very super sweet. At the base, you obviously have honey and vanilla. There is also a note of oud and gray musk. So with a lot of Royal Crown fragrances, there's a lot of notes in here, and I find this one to be very well blended. The biggest issue I think I've seen people have with this fragrance is the fact that the opening smells so one way and then it develops into something and people just don't like. Some people say it smells synthetic, some people say it smells like bug spray. I would say that the opening is what people anticipate this fragrance to smell like, and they're just vastly disappointed in its dry down, but I actually love its dry down. So the opening is really going to focus on the fruit, specifically the apple and the date. You're going to get that rose iris combo. It's going to be very faint and soft in the background, and most definitely you're going to get a lot of sweetness from the vanilla and the honey. You're not really going to get much of the woods, and you're not really going to get much of anything else but something that smells very sexy, very sweet, very syrupy, that has a little bit of complexity to it, again with the toffee, the black pepper, and the rose and the iris. And it's gorgeous, and that alone would be a beautiful fragrance. I don't know if that alone could command $400 or $400+ for a bottle of perfume, but that alone is a really nice composition. Specifically, I like how there's dates in there. Dates is to me a beautiful fruit that has almost a honeyed, deep fruity sweetness to that paired with honey just smells spectacular. It smells so good on the skin. Now, after about an hour or two is when this fragrance becomes kind of like ascends into goddessdom. So say it's a young maiden in the opening with her fruits and her florals, and then she eats some ambrosia, and then she becomes, you know, ascends. That's where this fragrance goes in the dry down and where it develops after an hour or two. The gray musk with the oud mimics this almost ozonic, minerally, aromatic oud. I like aromatic ouds a lot. I like when there's citruses and brightness in ouds to add a clarity to them. I think that's a great way to balance its funkiness. And the gray musk does it fantastically without taking away from these distinctive fruits and beautiful florals. And the rose and iris becomes more pronounced. So what it does is it takes a composition in the very opening that is more focused on honey, a bit of lactonic creaminess, again pairing the toffee note with the vanilla, and some, again, fruits and florals. It comes together really sweet, very playful, very flirty in the opening, and just doesn't age it, but matures it, almost ferments it or braises it, I'm so bad at this, into something that's ascending into more of a luxury experience. And that's what I believe takes this into $400 worthdom, like justifying the price. is that it transitions into a really elegant and beautiful experience. So you're getting these distinctive woods. You're really starting to smell the beauty of the sandalwood is really coming out. And it's not just in the background, kind of melting everything together, kind of like the mayonnaise of fragrance compositions. You're really smelling the distinct high quality sandalwood in this fragrance. You're starting to smell the distinctive characteristics of the rose and the beautiful soft sweetness of the iris. You're getting the deeper sweetness of the dates, and you're starting to smell less of the sweetness of the honey and more what honey smells or tastes like. You're losing a lot of the things in the fragrance in the beginning that would almost make it more like a compliment getting fragrance, more into a richer, deeper, lighter, brighter, but still very complex composition. When you start to remove that sweetness, it lets the aromatic woods kind of lighten it up just a little bit and add a bit of a clarity to this fragrance. And you start to, again, get more of the nuances of the fruits and the distinctive florals and the woods, and less of something fruity and honey and sweet and floral. It becomes more of an experience of the composition and the notes. And I really appreciate that. And that's where you really get to kind of smell everything, and it comes together really nicely. But it does become way more mature, way more mature. And so I can see people who enjoy the opening, and the opening is so beautiful and it's so sexy and it's so delicious, it's so flirty, and the honey note is fantastic. But it does change, and it does change I'd say, I wouldn't say 2 hours is drastic, but for a fragrance that lasts about 6 to 8 hours on the skin, I can see people, wanting that fruity, sweet honey scent to last longer. But what it transitions into, I think, is a fantastic interpretation of taking ambrosia and turning it into a luxury experience, and I think it's gorgeous. Now, the issue why I think a lot of people don't like this fragrance has to do with the margin of error within this composition. If I were to talk about balancing composition, understand I'm a novice. I'm not even a novice. I have absolutely no experience creating fragrance formulas. But on my skin, everything is just perfectly balanced, and everyone's body's chemistry is different. So I can see somebody having a different body chemistry that maybe pulls the oud too barnyard, or pulls the black pepper that smells too much like bug spray, or maybe the vanilla is too intense, or the honey isn't sweet enough. I feel like if any part of this fragrance wasn't balanced correctly, it wouldn't smell as good as it does. And so I feel like I'm just really lucky because this fragrance smells perfectly balanced on my skin. And I feel like people's real legitimate issues with this scent and its composition is the fact that it really needs to be perfectly balanced on your skin in order for it to work, because there's too many things that are in this fragrance, but there's also not enough things in this fragrance. And what I mean is this isn't a minimalistic fragrance, but there's also not enough notes in this fragrance for mistakes to hide behind. It's like there's black pepper in here. There's really no other aromatics except for, if you would consider iris to be an aromatic, I would consider it to be more of a floral component with the rose. But I would also consider the other aromatic qualities of this fragrance to be the distinctive nuances in the sandalwood, the oud, and the cedarwood. It's not like there's cumin in here. It's not like there's coriander in here. It's not like there's rosemary in here. It's not like there's cardamom in here. There's black pepper. So if black pepper doesn't work, there's no other spice to balance it. Well, we also have vanilla. And what if vanilla doesn't work on your skin? It's not like there's something else to warm it up or round it out. What if you pull woods too strongly or not strongly enough? There is just enough in this composition to make it smell complex and beautiful, but like I said, not enough for a mistake of body chemistry if something were to be off balance on your skin for this to have something to hide behind. So in my opinion, when it comes down to being a safe fragrance, even though this does smell like one of the more safer fragrances from the house, I would say tread with caution, tread with more caution with this fragrance than say maybe Absolute or Powder de Fleur, which I find to be some of the more challenging fragrances from the house. But at the end of the day, if you are looking for a beautiful, luxurious, more elevated honeyed gourmand fragrance, something fruity, something decadent, something timeless, something still sexy and sassy and youthful. I think Ambrosia is just gorgeous. But again, do tread with caution, because I do think that there is something about this fragrance's balanced, like perfectly balanced composition, that if there's something that about your body chemistry that pulls one of these notes off, it's going to be either a scrubber, or it's not going to smell like it's worth near the price point of this fragrance. But if it is balanced on your skin, I think it's going to be one of the most beautiful gourmands in your collection. That's just my thoughts. Anyway, that is my thoughts on Ambrosia. I'd love to know what you guys think. Have you tried this fragrance? Let me know in the comment section below, or other fragrances from the house that you might like or dislike. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!